Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing non-immigrant multiple entry Thai business visas, and we're specifically discussing this in the context of the recently promulgated automatic visa extension, or the Thai visa amnesty as it's called, sometimes referred to as the Thai visa waiver, which was created in response to the COVID-19 crisis and the crisis of folks that were being stranded in Thailand they were being stranded in Thailand in response to the COVID-19 situation. So business visas and non-immigrant visas generally were not initially covered pursuant to the initial amnesty as we read the announcement. There was some nuance regarding this. I've gone through the analysis of this. I still think there's some discrepancy or gray area with respect to how non-immigrants are dealt with, how non-immigrant visa holders are dealt with. And multiple entry non-immigrant visas are an especially curious or precarious case under the circumstances involved with this amnesty. But the second amnesty, the extension that has now taken us out to July 31st, seems to have covered all types of visas, including non-immigrants. So non-immigrant multi-entry visa holders, you're probably okay with respect to the amnesty, but there are knock-on implications which can flow from falling into amnesty in a non-immigrant B visa context. And let me go through that real quick. So first, understand the amnesty is not an affirmative visa status. It's not a category. It's just a forbearance on the part of Thai immigration to assess the accrual of overstay fines, $500 baht a day for each day of overstay in Thailand. It is also a waiver of a finding that one has been accruing time in overstay toward the possibility of being blacklisted from returning to Thailand. It is not, and I repeat this, it is not in and of itself a visa status. It is effectively a negation, if you will. It operates in the negative. It's negating the accrual of overstay fines and negating the accrual of time being tabulated toward assessment of a possible automatic blacklisting. That's all it is. So when this ends on July 31, and I don't believe, at least as of the time of this video, it will be extended past July 31. When this ends, it's over. We're back to the old visa rules. So first of all, if you're on a non-immigrant visa and you're looking to just leave and be done, you were planning to leave Thailand anyway and circumstances just got in the way and you were not able to leave for whatever reason, but the amnesty accommodated you. If you're looking to just leave, I would urge you to leave earlier than the 31st, if that is at all possible. So if you are able to leave prior to the 31st, I recommend doing so, because I think folks sort of squeezing every last drop, for lack of a better term, of amnesty juice out of this program. If you all leave in like one big mass on the 31st or try to do border runs, and I'll get into border runs in a moment, but if you try to all do that all at the same time, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's going to result in possibly more problems. And as I'll get into in a moment, overstaying past the amnesty could cause a set of its own issues. But for issues specific to a non-immigrant B visa, there's another thing to keep in mind, and that is those who are on a multiple entry non-immigrant B, and we certainly have a number of clients that utilize those. Quite frankly, in many ways, they can be more convenient than dealing with a B visa extension here in Thailand. And some people opt to do it, and some people find extension is better. If you've yet to see your non-immigrant B expire and the need for the amnesty, I would strongly urge you, consult a legal professional and try to extend your status. It is a better way of dealing with this, because extension status is an affirmative visa status. It's not sort of this sort of a status that sort of only operates in the negative, the way that an amnesty status is. And a thing to keep in mind is work permits. Thai immigration policy does not have any direct bearing on Labor Department policy. So when you fill out a status with respect to your B visa, you are not, that amnesty does not affirmatively extend your B visa. It simply says, look, it's a forbearance. We're just simply waiving the fines and we're waiving the accrual of blacklisting time. We're not extending B status. We're simply waiving overstay status. Labor Department can take the position that your B visa has expired and therefore the platform on which your work permit rests has thereby expired and therefore your work permit expired. You fell out, your work permit is canceled, and Thai Labor Department has an affirmative policy in place that stipulates if that occurs, you need to have canceled your work permit, and failure to do so can result in a fine. So there could be a fine associated with not dealing with an extension of your B visa status while in the amnesty. So I would urge those who've yet to have their B visa status expire, seriously look into extending it. If you were planning to do a border run, but it turns out you can't, and your B visa, the stamp on it, the last entry stamp, the 90 days is yet to expire, seriously look at extending. Because by getting an extension, you may save yourself a lot of headache on the back end of this with your work permit, and it's just better overall because you're in an actual status. The other thing to understand is after this amnesty comes to an end, I can't say for certain exactly how Thai immigration could view a subsequent overstay. If you leave before the amnesty ends, I think it's very clear that you'll be accorded the amnesty and you'll just be allowed to leave. But if you overstay by, say, a day, will they only stipulate that you accrued 1 day's worth of overstay? Or will they say, look, we gave you every opportunity to leave Thailand within the amnesty period. You chose to overstay even further. We're now going to tack on all of that amnesty time back onto to an overstay that occurs after the amnesty comes to an end. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion how they're going to treat that one way or the other. I could definitely see a scenario where they say, look, any subsequent overstay reactivates all the time you were on overstay for amnesty for purposes of accruing fines and blacklisting assessment. So I definitely think that's possible. I could also see him saying, look, you overstay after the amnesty is just sort of null and void. Everything that happened in there has nothing to do with your immigration status. We're only gonna assess fines on the time you actually overstayed past the amnesty. That being said, it's never advisable to overstay. I strongly urge you to leave the country prior to July 31 if you're enjoying the amnesty in order to avoid an overstay. But for those who are even thinking about it, understand, I think it's a definite possibility that immigration will take the position, hey, we granted you an amnesty. We gave you 4 months in which to get yourself and your situation in order. You've now overstayed. We're reactivating all that time. We're assessing a fine against you, and we're going to blacklist you on the way out. That could be a real problem for folks. Don't overstay. Finally, presuming border runs will be a possibility, and this is especially pertinent for multiple entry B visa holders because they oftentimes do use border runs or do use routine business travel as a mechanism by which to keep themselves in lawful status in Thailand. I do not think it is a foregone conclusion that there will be border runs available or border run options available at the time that this amnesty comes to an end. So again, probably a good idea to contact a legal professional. If there are border run opportunities, it may be very border dependent. So like, for example, it may be possible to do a border run to Myanmar, and it may not be possible to do a border run to Cambodia for whatever reason, or a border run to Laos and not a border run to Myanmar, or a border run to Cambodia and not a border run to Laos. So it will probably be very factually dependent. For those who really are having problems understanding this, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and contact a legal professional. If you're looking at a border run at the end of this, if you're already boxed into your not being able to extend your B visa and you're just going to have to watch your non-immigrant visa, you know, just get yourself, just enjoy the amnesty, for lack of a better term, and try to do a border run. Probably not a terrible idea to contact a legal professional before the conclusion of this amnesty to try and make a travel plan that will allow you to utilize your multi-entry visa, get out, without going into overstay, and then hopefully get back into Thailand and take back up your B visa status as well as your work permit status.